Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Barbara and this is Cycle Mapping's channel, and it's all about cycle and how the cycle is really influencing our life, how we feel, what we do, and the changes and how can we use those changes to our advantage and not to go against those and not to create resistance. Today's video is all about the seasonal changes that are happening. Now we have September and kids are back to school. I know that kids in US, they start school in August already, and in different parts of the world they start differently. Because for example, like in Australia, they have summer during the winter time of Europe and vice versa. So it's different for each, part of the world. But here in Czech, where I'm currently living at, the kids start school 1st of September, which was yesterday. And so the kids go to the kindergarten, preschool and school. And it's a new season, it's a change. What I would like to tell you today is a little bit of information about why do we have the zodiac circle and what it means. Once I took a Kabbalah class with my friend, and they were actually explaining there to us why in certain months we have the different zodiac and what the animals represent, and why for certain months we have certain zodiac and what it means. And it was very interesting actually. Kabbalah started way back before even Judaism, and so Judaism, some of the Judaism teachings were coming from Kabbalah as well. What was interesting to me, because of course I've read some horoscopes and I've kind of was playing around with the idea of what the astrology means and what it is, but I didn't really understand why certain animals represent certain months, what it is, why, and why there are some similarities to some people born in those months. And what was really interesting to me was to find out that each month has a different energy. It just basically helps with certain things. So for example, when there is a Cancer month, it's month of health, and that month is very helpful. There is a very supporting energy for us to really focus on our health and to eat well and to just get some energy and overall feel better. Or for example, now that we're in the Virgo month, and the Virgo is all about organization and rules and some schedules, and it actually really makes sense that kids go back to school in this month after the summer, at least here in Czech, where I'm currently living at, because after the Leo, which is all about love and connection and appreciation and just being around the people, enjoying the sun and just have a vacation and really just enjoy the summer. Now there is a structure that is coming in place, and it just feels pretty natural and normal. There's that supporting energy behind it. So it's really interesting to learn more about that, and why is it that in certain months there is certain supporting energy. For example, in January there is energy of the Capricorn, and the Capricorn also represents structure and a grit and being organized and going forward to your goals and starting new projects very with like a lot of enthusiasm, and that is represented by the Capricorn energy. And that's why we are giving ourselves usually like the New Year's resolutions, because that energy of the January is very supportive of new beginnings and new start, and just being more organized and being more scheduled, and just like, you know, going forward to your goals. And what's interesting is also that there is after that there is the month of the Aquarius, which is like new ideas and very loose, and just being very open and kind of like flexible. So that is not very supportive of that beginning of like new projects. It can give the new ideas for the project, but when we are, you know, like we're in this flow of like, okay, I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna, you know, eat more healthy and just do whatever, you know, I'm gonna lose some weight, we have all these resolutions, and then after just few couple weeks or so, like we're going into a different energy, and then that energy is not very helpful to what we started. So if we are aware of it, like we can actually plan ahead. And that's the same with our cycle. Our cycle, the women's cycle, is very repetitive. It's very similar month to month. Of course, there are some changes and there are some, you know, tweaks here and there. But generally, if we are someone healthy and our body works as it should, we have repetitive cycle parts, and they're just very different. And if we are trying to do something that is not supported by our energy or the approach that we have at that moment, it's going to be super difficult, and it's going to be really, really hard on us. So for example, during our luteal phase, which is before the menstruation, and it's also the longest phase, so it would be probably more or less like a week or so before our period, when we feel like we want to organize things and we want to clean up and prepare everything. It's almost like preparing for winter, which is our menstrual phase, and you just want to be settled. Like you don't want to be cleaning and doing deep cleaning when you're on your period. Like you just want to relax and you just want to take some time off if possible, because if we are going into our reserves and we are going against that energy that we are currently at, it's just going to be very counterproductive, let's say that the least. And we are creating resistance if we are trying to do something that we are not naturally in the flow of, you know. So that's the flow of the natural cycle that is happening, and if we're trying to kind of like force something that is not really there, it's gonna be so dreadful, and it's gonna be really hard, and it's gonna deplete our energy, and we're gonna feel horrible and not happy. Nobody wants that, right? Like, who wants that? I don't. And I just recently had a big event that I was taking pictures of, and there were over 700 people. I was supposed to be in my active phase because my menstruation was supposed to be the week before. Unfortunately, because of the traveling and time change and the jet lag that I experienced, and not proper good healthy eating, my menstrual cycle got postponed, and I had it 5 days later, which meant that when I was taking pictures of that big event, I was still on my period, and I did not want to be around the 700 people. I want to be like active and taking pictures. I still had to do it. I did it to my best ability, and I was still socializing and talking, networking with people. But it was so depleting, and instead of the next day taking some time off, or, you know, at least to give myself some time to just breathe and just relax and be, I still kept going and going because I needed to do certain things around the car, and my son was still at home because he was not back to school yet, and I had to send some pictures out for another project, and so there were a lot of things that I was still doing. But because I did not stop and I did not give myself some time, you know, to just be and relax, I started having a big headache, and it was really unpleasant, to the point that I had to take some pill for a headache, which I try usually to opt that and not to take it, but it was just so bad, and I felt like it could actually develop into migraine. And it was mainly, I know that, like, it was because I did not give myself the time to just chill and relax and just be, and I was pushing myself too hard. If this would happen in my active phase, it would be totally different story, and it would be totally fine. And that's the same thing with the seasons during the year. If we are trying to just go, you know, like not to stop and not to take it easy, at some point and some time during the year, we are gonna burn out. Like, we're just not gonna sustain that. That's just not sustainable. There is such a push from the system, from the society, that we have to keep going and show results and just be active and just, you know, perform all the time, be happy and cheerful and blah blah blah. But that's just not sustainable, and it's not natural, it's not normal. Like, if we give ourselves more freedom to really take it easy and be active when we are active, and when it's the active time, which is, you know, it's the spring and summer, it's a very active time of the year. And so is our follicular, ovulatory, and the part, like the first part of the luteal phase. But then we really need to give ourselves some time to just chill and relax and just take it easy and not to overdo it, because when we overdo it, our body is gonna communicate to us first just like some hints, and it could be unpleasant, like the headache. But if we keep going, it could develop into something more severe, like migraine, or something worse, you know, something more unpleasant. And we don't want that either. It's way more productive and it's way more practical to really listen to your body, to your cycle, to be more in tune with your cycle and not to overdo it, and to be aware that there's good time for certain things and there is not such a great time for certain things. And when we can, to plan ahead and do certain things. For example, I could plan better, and since I knew that I'm gonna be in my period when it got delayed, I could have really gave myself the time after to just maybe not to work the first half of the day. For example, if I needed to do something, I could maybe do it the second half of the day, but not the first half of the day, that just to chill. And I think that maybe my body would not start having a headache. Why I'm sharing those videos with you is because I want everybody to be happier and to make this world a better place. Besides being a photographer, I'm also a doula, and I'm a consultant for the cycle, women's cycle, and I'm doing some rituals for women, and I'm really trying to support women to be at better health, be more self-aware, happier, and self-confident, because I believe that when we are more mindful of ourselves, our body, and just the wholesome approach to ourselves, we're just gonna be happier, and we're gonna be way more productive, and we're just gonna become contributors to the society. It's gonna be way more helpful and more wholesome and just better. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel. I'm posting videos every week, but every other week it's in English, every other week it's in Czech. And if you have any comments, any requests, you can write some comments down below the video, or you can send me an email. I'm currently based in Prague, Czech Republic, but I also do online consultations if necessary. If you need it, it's possible to do online consultations as well. I'll be happy to help. Don't hesitate to ask for help, because with help we can become way happier and way more just chilled self. So don't hesitate to ask for help, and I hope to see you at my next video. Have a beautiful day. Bye!